Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. Got a nice sized stack of goodies here to talk to you guys about today. Also, keep in mind my mom's going to pop in a little bit later on with her guest review this week. If you guys like my mom's reviews, definitely leave a comment down below letting us know. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you guys like our videos. So guys, let's get on to the first one here from Scream Factory. And it's not a new horror film, but a new horror film to me because I've never seen it before until I got it, and that is Ghost Town here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much about this what's it called, sheriff's deputy that lives in this small town who's out looking for a missing person, looking for this missing girl, that disappeared out of thin air, and he's out there trying to find this young girl until he gets led into this small ghost town, that's all like run by spirits and like weird like monster people. Like he goes into this small western kind of town trying to look for this young lady that got taken or supposedly disappeared, and he's going there and experiencing all this weird stuff, like doors opening and closing, seeing people they're talking to him, and then 2 seconds later they're not there, all this crazy stuff. And this one town is run by this one evil spirit master that's kind of controlling all the spirits in the town and things like that, and he is trying to figure out what he's going to do to get out of that mess. I thought this movie was okay. It was made by the Empire Pictures back in the day, the Charles Band Company, which turned into, of course, Full Moon Pictures. And I thought this movie had a decent vibe to it. It has some good, decent kills in here. Some of the makeup effects are, kind of cheap, but that's what you kind of come to expect when you watch the Charles Band kind of style of movies. But I really kind of like it. I like the music in here, kind of really fit with this thing. It kind of, when I was watching it, the music kind of felt like I heard the music before somewhere else, but I just couldn't really put it together, to be honest. But the sad thing is there's no special features on this Blu-ray, not even a theatrical trailer or anything like that, but it does look nice in 1080p. But next up over here from Scream Factory is a film I liked a lot more than Ghost Town, and that is called Madman here on Blu-ray. It's about this lady that works in this used bookstore in the middle of this, like busy town, but yet she's really obsessed with like horror novels. She loves reading horror novels. It really gets her rocks off and things. And so one day she finds out about this one book called Madman, about a crazy doctor that likes going around taking people's ears off, noses off, and putting them on himself to please a woman that he loves. And she really gets infatuated with this book and really gets into it, starts reading it. But as soon as she starts reading it, she starts seeing the doctor guy that's in the book. And she's like, what's going on? Why am I seeing this, seeing this guy? And she's kind of like sort of getting sucked into the world of this book and of this crazy, doctor guy is going around killing people. And she's like witnessing things like this. And she's going, what's going on? Is he real? Is he really in reality? Or is he just in my mind in this book? And it's her just trying to figure out what the hell is going on with her. And I thought this movie was really kind of fun. It has a really nice little creepy vibe to it. And I don't know, man. I liked it. It was a really inventive film that I've never seen anything like that before, to be honest. Like a person reading a book and, then the person that's doing the killing in the book is kind of coming into their reality. Really kind of interesting. And on this Blu-ray here, you get like a new audio commentary track by the director, a new making of featurette with some of the cast and crew talking about their experience on making the movie. I don't know, man. I thought this movie was very, very cool. And next up over here from Warner Brothers is their new Justice League film. It's called Justice League Gods and Monsters here on Blu-ray. It's kind of set in a different universe. You know what I mean? Because in here you get the Justice League, but you only get Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. But in this, they have different names, like not Clark Kent, or what I mean, like not their real names as you guys all come to know and love them. And in here, the Justice League or the trio is still doing their thing, going around saving the city until people start dying. Really special scientists around are all being killed and murdered, and the Justice League are being blamed for their murders. And it's the Justice League, the trio of Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, trying to figure out who's doing these killings so they won't get framed for all these murders that are happening. And I found this one to be really kind of interesting. Like I really did dig it. It's kind of strange though, because Batman is like not his normal self. He's like a vampire Batman. It's going around like biting bad guys and sucking their blood. It's really kind of weird, but I really did dig it. The animation is not like that 3D animation. It's kind of like the hand-drawn kind of stuff, but I really did get invested in this one. But this one was kind of cool. Gods and Monsters, Justice League. I like that one. And next up over here from the Warner Archive collection is something I just had to get because I have the Little Rascals complete collection that came out, and this is the other collection that came out through the Warner Archive, and that is the Our Gang collection here on DVD. This is a collection of what's it called, 52 MGM theatrical shorts that aired in theaters between 1938 and 1944. I had to check the back again because I don't want to say the dates wrong or anything. And this is just the complete collection, and all these episodes, all these shorts that are in this collection here are all, unedited, uncut and stuff like that. So they're the way they were seen in theaters, back in the 30s and 40s, and I really like that. Just like my Little Rascals collection I have has, all uncut episodes. And the thing is, guys, I've always loved the Little Rascals. The thing that got me into this, Little Rascals and Our Gang, was the movie that came out back in 1994 starring Bug Hall. That's the first thing I ever saw of Little Rascals from what I remember. My dad might have shown me some VHS tapes of Our Gang or something, but I just never remembered. But that 1994 movie was the one that really got me wanting to watch the Our Gang collection and the Little Rascals, and because I just really fell in love with the characters. You know what I mean? Because the Little Rascals and Our Gang was the first theatrical shorts that ever aired in theaters that had white kids and black kids being friends together in a show. I was called interracial kind of show. It was one of the very first things that ever happened like that, and I really liked that aspect of the show. But on the set here, you get all 52 episodes or all 52 shorts on 5 DVDs here. The picture quality is pretty good. It's not as good as it would be if they put out it on Blu-ray, but it still looks really cool, and I was really pleasantly pleased by this one. So if you're a fan of Little Rascals or Our Gang, definitely check out this set here. Really well worth it. I dug the hell out of that one. Alright guys, and next up over here is Ladyhawke on Blu-ray, directed by Richard Donner, starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Matthew Broderick and Rutger Hauer. This is like a fantasy film, kind of like Princess Bride in a way, in that kind of aspect of it. It's pretty much about this pickpocket played by Matthew Broderick. He goes around pickpocketing people and he gets put into jail, and at the beginning of this film he's busting out of the king's jail thing and running off until he comes across Rutger Hauer's character in the middle of the woods, and Rutger Hauer needs Matthew Broderick's help to complete his mission that he's trying to go on, because he's trying to find his long lost love, which is Michelle Pfeiffer's character, because they had a spell put on them years ago, like when during the daytime Michelle Pfeiffer gets turned into a hawk, and during the nighttime Michelle Pfeiffer turns back into human, but yet Rutger Hauer's character turns into a wolf, so they never can see each other or really be together, and it's them trying to go around, go and against the king that put a spell on them to break the spell so they can be together. And I found this movie to be just wonderful. I don't usually like period piece kind of movies when people like knights wearing armor going around doing things like that. I usually don't really get into, but this one was really kind of different and fun. You know what I mean? I really did like this one, and I gotta say, it looks beautiful, and you also get a theatrical trailer on this. So if you're a fan of Richard Donner or any of the actors, give us one to watch, guys. Alright guys, and next up from Sony is Lake Placid versus Anacondas, baby. Here on DVD, the unrated version. The title of this movie is kind of, self-explanatory. You kind of know, what's going to happen in here. It's about these scientists in the middle of the woods that are messing with, chemicals and different formulas and stuff, and they get a big alligator in their grasp, and they get a big old snake, and they're doing tests on it until the alligator and the snake, break free and run wild over this little town, and of course the cops of the town are trying to contain it and things like that, and at the same time there's these sorority girls going to this small town to pledge a sorority, and of course all this craziness is happening and they're getting picked off one by one. It was kind of fun. I really did like this one, but at the same time the special effects didn't seem like they've been updated at all. I think the special effects in the old Anaconda movie with Ice Cube and J-Lo, and the same thing with the very first Lake Placid movie, I think those effects look better than these ones. You know what I mean? I think the effects got dumbed down or something. Like the alligator and the snake just look really super fake. You know what I mean? I was just kind of like, whatever. But it's kind of one of those movies you would see play on the Sci-Fi Channel. You know what I mean? Like those weird, corny bad acting kind of things. But in this movie, you do get Robert Englund in here for a decent kind of role as a guy that's like, hey, scientist, you can go over here to get the alligator. If you want the alligator, you go over here to get that snake. You know, kind of guy, creepy kind of guy with an eye patch and a hook for a hand. It was kind of cool to see him in here. But if you guys like fun, stupid, cheesy movies with boobies in it, check out, Lake Placid versus Anaconda here on DVD. Alright guys, next up from HBO is a TV show that I really liked watching when it first aired on HBO back in 2005. And recently HBO brought the show back in 2015 for another 8 episodes. And I was very excited that they put it all, the whole collection on DVD now. And that is The Comeback here on DVD, starring Lisa Kudrow as Valerie Cherish. She's an actress that's been in Hollywood for a little while now. She's been on a really popular TV show back in the 90s called I'm It. And now there's this reality show crew following her around called, the show's called The Comeback. And it's videotaping her, and her life and, being cast in this new, sitcom on television. And she's not really in a big role or anything. And it's just, the reality show following her and all the awkward moments that she gets into in her life in this show. And I thought this is a very well done show. And the season that aired in 2015 takes place, 10 years after the original season aired. And just following her again 10 years later and what she's up to now and how she's being cast in another show which is based off her life, which is created by her arch nemesis from the first season. And it's just a very well written, really funny, awkward show. But it's one of those shows I don't really laugh at. You know what I mean? Like, it's so awkward, it's cringy, and that's what I like about it, because I like weird, awkward, cringy kind of stuff. Like the people that watch my YouTube videos, you like cringy stuff too, because that's why you probably watch me. But it's kind of like that, and you get all 21 episodes of this series on here. Who knows if it's going to come back again, but it's just a very well done show. Always like Lisa Kudrow since Friends and Romeo and Michelle, but I just want to let you guys all know that both seasons of the show are both out now on DVD in this little collection here. And next up over here from Paramount is a movie I really couldn't get into, and it's called Clouds of Sils Maria. Here on DVD, stars Kristen Stewart, Juliette Binoche. It's pretty much about Juliette Binoche's character, who's going to do a new play. A play that she's done 20 years ago when she was, playing the younger woman in this show. But now she's going to do this play again all this time later. But now she's playing the older woman role, and she's going there not really knowing if she wants to really do it or be a part of it. And in this movie, Kristen Stewart plays her personal assistant, and it's them two kind of going back and forth with one another, like practicing their lines for the new play and things. It was just really kind of slow and boring, in my opinion. I really had a hard time getting through it. I had to sit through it. It took me 2 sittings to get through it. I mean, the acting's fine, the writing's fine. It's just the pacing of it. I was just like, move on, please. But that's Clouds of Sils Maria here on DVD. Next up over here from E1 is a cool little documentary called Deli Man here on Blu-ray. It's a documentary that follows this one guy named Ziggy who has a deli or delicatessen in Texas that he opened up years ago, or he didn't open up, but his grandfather, opened it, and then he was, kept working there because his grandfather did. And it's just a documentary about the history of the delicatessen. And I thought it was really cool, you know what I mean? Like, talking about how it started and how there's only like a couple hundred delis left in the world, and when there used to be one on every street corner, back in like the 20s and, 50s or what have you, as they talked about in here. But you also get like little interviews in here, but like Jerry Stiller and Larry King and like a couple of other, older guys talking about, how they used to go to delicatessens when they were kids. Their fathers and grandfathers took them there. And it's just like, how the business has changed over the years and how a lot of these delis are really struggling to, to stay afloat. You know what I mean? Because the prices are going up on meats and things. It was just a very well done kind of documentary, and I really did dig this one, and I got this one on Blu-ray. So if you're a fan of documentaries and you guys like, food kind of shows, definitely give this one a watch. I like this one a lot.
Hi, I'm back again. Just real quick. Oh, you know how people, when there's a sequel to a movie, sometimes the second one just didn't ever live up to the first. You know how that goes? Well, not in this case. What I have to share with you today is, and it's from Fox, the second best exotic marigold hotel. Now, you do remember the first one I talked about, right? Which was the first exotic marigold hotel. Anyway, I loved that one. And I'm not disappointed in this one. Oh, because usually, I was kind of worried. I thought, oh gosh, sequels, like I say, never as good as the first. Well, this is. And I'd say it's mainly because of the actors. It's, I love the bickering between Judi Dench and Maggie Smith. It's, sorry, it's just like really subtle, really kind of kicking each other under the table type of stuff. It just makes me laugh. I love it. And the story is pretty much, picks up where it left off with the, sort of like a home for old people, but it happens to be in India, and I love the filming because you get all the Indian background and everything, and the beautiful colors and the fabrics, and it's almost like the director knew how to film it, because you could swear you could almost smell the spices and feel the fabrics and all that. It's just, I love this kind of stuff. So if I were you, I'd pick this up. It's a winner.
And next up over here is a new film from Lionsgate, and it's called Ex Machina here on Blu-ray. And it's pretty much about this one guy who wins a contest at work or something, and he gets to go to his boss's house, for the weekend to just hang out or whatever. And he goes there and he finds out that the owner of his company that he's going to visit, or his boss, has created this AI, this artificial intelligent robot that's living there, and he's there to, just to talk to the robot and do a little testing with it. And when you come to find out that, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in this movie that I don't want to give away, but I thought it was really kind of cool, super inventive. I really like the look, of the robot itself, how you can see its inner stomach area and its head, and it just looked kind of cool. But the ending was really kind of strange. It's one of those endings, it leaves you going, well, this could have happened or that could have happened, you know what I mean? It doesn't really have a solid ending. It leaves it open for interpretation, kind of thing. But it's a beautiful looking movie to look at on Blu-ray especially. But I really did dig this one. I didn't think it was as great as people are saying, but I dug it. I dug this one for what it was. And next up over here is season 7 of Ancient Aliens here on Blu-ray. I have the other seasons of them on DVD. This is, I think, just the first season that they ever released on Blu-ray. And this is just a show that talks about how aliens could be among us, and are aliens still, with us today, and it's in society. And they even, in one of the episodes, they talk about the Sphinx in Egypt, and how a lot of people think there could be hidden caverns in there with hidden things that people don't know about, because the Sphinx was uncovered back in the day, and it's always been a mystery to a lot of people. And they just talk about a lot of different little alien kind of fact things. It's one of those conspiracy kind of shows, sort of. You know what I mean? If you're really into conspiracies, if this happened or that happened, and really crazy stuff, definitely watch this. But it contains all 12 episodes of season 7 here on Blu-ray. So if you guys like, learning about aliens, and if they really did exist, or if they're among us now, check out Ancient Aliens. It's a really fun show. And next up over here from Image Entertainment is a cool little horror comedy that I recently just watched. And it's called Burying the X here on Blu-ray. This film was actually directed by Joe Dante, who directed Small Soldiers and Gremlins. And this is his new film, and it's pretty much about this guy named Max, who has this girlfriend. She's kind of overbearing, kind of crazy, kind of, always on him about things until he really wants to kind of get out of their relationship. He doesn't know how to do it until his girlfriend gets hit by a bus and dies. He's like, okay, cool, I can start anew. I can, go out and play the field again, until he starts playing the field again. But yet, his girlfriend, his crazy girlfriend that got hit by a bus, is back from the dead, and she's a zombie, and she's coming back and wants to continue their relationship, and all the craziness that ensues from there. That's all I can really tell you about the movie. I thought it was really kind of fun. It kind of kind of sort of felt a little bit like My Boyfriend's Back in the day. Kind of has that same kind of premise to it, but not as super goofy. You know what I mean? It has a lot of funny moments in here. This one, I really did dig this one very much. That is Burying the Ex here on Blu-ray. And next up over here from Olive Films is a 70s flick that I've always heard about, and I always kind of wanted to see because I like movies like, you know, that's kind of like this. And it stars Linda Blair, and it's called Roller Boogie here on Blu-ray. Sad to say, before I get into the review, there's no special features on it whatsoever. But it's pretty much, you know, about these kids at this roller rink that love skating, listening to their music, and, you know, skating and doing their things. You know, the old skates where there's like 4 wheels, not like rollerblades or anything. You know, kind of movie. And it's just them living their lives until they find out that their favorite skate rink in the world is being shut down by these weird like mobster kind of people, and it's them trying to, you know, do what they can to keep it open. You know, kind of movie. It kind of felt like I was watching what's called Breaking and Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, but on skates. And Linda Blair is just like, you know, of course, one of the main girls in the movie that's, you know, trying to figure out what's going on with their skating ring. And I don't know, she was kind of good in this movie. I always kind of like Linda Blair. But that's Roller Boogie here on Blu-ray. And next up over here is a really fun movie that I've never seen before until I got the Blu-ray. It stars Christopher Reeves and Morgan Freeman, and it's called Street Smart. But it's pretty much about Christopher Reeve's character. He's a journalist for this newspaper, and he's trying to figure out a good story that he can, you know, write for this newspaper that can, you know, maybe get him some acclaim. So he decides to maybe, you know, to go out on the street to find his pimp, to do an article on his pimp and the pimp's life. And he goes out there. He can't get a pimp to talk to, so he decides just to make up a story. Because if he doesn't you know, come up with a story, he's gonna be fired from his job. So he makes up a story that he's really talked to a pimp and all this kind of thing until like he finds out, and it turns into the story. But then come to find out there was a real pimp in the same town that's going through some stuff, that's going, you know, through court and things, and the pimp and that lawyer of the pimp think that you know, the story's about him and his, you know, the craziness that happens. I thought this was cool. It's kind of cool to see Morgan Freeman as a pimp, you know, with like long fingernails, slapping, you know, like hookers and stuff. It was really kind of weird to see him like that, 'cause, you know, you never see him in a movie like that. You know what I mean? But this movie was really kind of cool. Really did enjoy this one very much. And next up over here is another one from Olive Films, and it's called Baby It's You here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much what was it called? Yeah, a film that takes place in like the late 60s about this, you know, one girl that's going to high school, just, you know, living her life, doing her thing, until this one guy starts courting her and wants to go out with her, and he's kind of like a rough scallion, as what my mom would say, or something. And you know, he's out there doing crazy stuff, but he's infatuated with her, and it's just the back and forth between the two. Are they gonna get together? Are they gonna break up? And, you know, like that kind of thing. And it was okay, but it just doesn't live up to how I, you know, when I first watched it. I'm like, I used to love it when I first saw it back in the day, but it's just not as cool as it used to be. Alright everyone, next up from Anchor Bay is a film I really did dig very much. The movie's mediocre, but just, you know, where they filmed it I loved. And it's called Any Day here on DVD, starring Sean Bean and Tom Arnold. And in this film, Sean Bean plays this ex-con guy that's just being let out of jail because, you know, he was in jail for beating a guy to death because he was getting drunk. And he's getting let out of jail, trying to start a new life now. He's kind of, you know, trying to put his past behind him, trying to get a new job, trying to, you know, just start a new life. Until he gets a job at this pizza place and starts living with his sister and her son, until something catastrophic happens and it's him trying to make a choice, you know, between, you know, what he's gonna do with his life. And I thought this movie was just kind of sort of mediocre. The acting was fine in here. I always loved Tom Arnold in movies, and Sean Bean was really good in here. But the cool thing is about this movie that I loved, it was filmed in Canoga Park, my old stomping grounds where I used to film all my out and about videos and hoarding up videos with Gabriel. Like, they filmed in Jerry's Pizza, which is a pizza place I filmed in my videos, Casey's Tavern, like all these different places I filmed in, you know, for my YouTube videos are like all up in this movie. This whole movie is like filmed everywhere where I used to live, and that's what I liked about the movie. The movie's not amazing, but, you know, it was just okay. But that's Any Day here on a DVD. It was cool if you see it at a Redbox, rented for $1. And next up over here from PBS, it's called Richard Pryor, Icon, here on DVD. And this is a documentary about Richard Pryor's life and how he, grew up with his grandma in a whorehouse. Back in the day when he was growing up, and that's the only life he really knew was his mom. Was a hooker, and his grandma was like the person running the whorehouse. And how he became. How he got into comedy and how he became, the big icon that he became. And because he wasn't always, the best comic in the world. He's kind of started off, idolizing people like Bill Cosby and like doing real, straight-laced comedy with no foul language until he had this, realization in his life where he changed it and said, you know what, I'm done playing this game. I'm going to be me now. You know what I mean? And then when he actually became himself is when he really struck it big in Hollywood. And this was a really well done PBS documentary. It's about an hour long. You get interviews in here with family members and celebrities that knew Richard Pryor and his life and things. And I like this one. I like this one very much just because I love Richard Pryor and his movies and his stand-up comedy. And you want to know more about the man, check out this doc right here. And this next one up right here was absolutely wonderful. I'm glad I got it, and it's called Robin Williams Remembered, here on DVD. This is, like I said, a documentary about the man and how he came up through the ranks in Hollywood and went to the comedy store in Hollywood to do his comedy, and how he jumped on to the Happy Days show as sort of like a guest star to play Mork from Ork, and how that little 1 or 2 episodes that he did on Happy Days blew up into the Mork and Mindy show, and the Mork and Mindy show blew him into Hollywood, and how he became the man that he became. And man, I always thought Robin Williams is a legend, and it was kind of heartbreaking for me to watch this, because there was an interview with Robin Williams talking about his life and how he how he started out in Hollywood and things like that. And it was just kind of sad, because I can't lie, I've been one of the biggest fans of his forever. I know a lot of people love him too. He's one of the most beloved actors, that was out there. And this is just a documentary showing his life and how he used to love, going to Iraq to perform for the troops, and how it really meant a lot to him for him to do things like that. And if you guys want to see a good doc about the man, definitely check out Robin Williams Remembered, here on DVD. Very, very well done documentary. I liked it a lot. Alright guys, and the last two up here are from Monarch Pictures, and the first one up here is 3 Nights Stand, here on DVD. This movie was actually pretty kind of funny, and it's pretty much about this one guy named Carl, who's kind of in a relationship that's kind of stale, and he wants to try to reinvigorate his relationship with his wife. So he decides to take his wife to this lodge, for a little vacation, until they go there, until he finds out that the person that's running the lodge is his old flame, the girl of his dreams, the person that he's always wanted to be with, but something happened years ago that made them not stay together. So it's pretty much him, at this lodge with his wife and a girl he's always wanted to be with, and it's just the awkwardness between the three, and just how they spend their weekend together. I found this movie to be really super funny and charming, but I thought this movie was really kind of well done for the budget that they had, nicely acted by the people in here. But if this sounds interesting to you, definitely give this one a watch. I dug this one very much. Alright guys, and last up over here for my update today is a film starring Cory Menuth, the guy who passed away, who starred in the TV show Glee, and I believe this is one of his last movies he did, and it's called All the Wrong Reasons, here on DVD. It's pretty much about these 3 people that work in this department store. Their lives are just kind of boring and lame. One of them is kind of one of them doesn't really care about life very much. She has a kid, but she doesn't really, take care of it very well. And Cory Menuth is the manager of the store, who's stuck in a relationship with a woman who has obsessive compulsive disorder and can't really, he can't touch his own wife. And she works as surveillance in the store until this one guy who comes in for a job he comes in and he has a peg leg, and he's there trying to get a job, and when he gets there he kind of changes everyone's life. In their own different little ways, and you have to watch the movie to find out. I found this movie to be really kind of entertaining. I like movies that take place, in a store, one location. It's not one location the whole movie, but it kind of mostly takes place inside this you know, this department store, and it's just how this one guy changes these three people's lives. And I thought this movie was really kind of cool for the kind of movie that it is. Like, I wasn't expecting much from it, but I really did dig this one, especially the lady that plays Corin Menace's wife in the film. I think she really did bring a lot to this movie. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have liked the movie as much. I forgot her name now. Is it like Emily Hupstetter or something? Like, she was really great in this film. But that's all the wrong reasons here on DVD. I dug it. But guys, that's all I have to talk to you guys about today for my Blu-ray DVD update. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys like my videos. And also, if you guys haven't seen my review yet of Ant-Man, I'll have an annotation here on the screen. Make sure you guys give it a check out. And I'll see you next time. Peace.